What's going on? What's good, Washington fans? Today we have special guest dose of Dion. Shout out to Fan to Fan Network. We are both on the network. How you doing tonight, man?
Good, man. Thanks for having me.
Oh, anytime. I'm gonna get to the shout outs real quick to whoever's in the chat. Shout out to Sports Critic. He is offended by the word Redskin. He says, "Yo, what's up?" And I think you were formerly hailed to the Redskins for life, so I think he changed his name. Shout out to Timothy Swindle. He said, "This is the perfect game to start Haskins, but since we're in full tank mode, is Alex Smith starting?" So yeah, we will talk about that too. Shout out to Chris's Sports Talk. He said, "We're going to destroy the Lions. Alex Smith will eliminate the mistakes. He's never been a high turnover guy. He had complete control of the offense last game. I believe this is the game we take off." X Dance, what's up, man? Dante Cool, what's going on? King Sean 32, what's up, man? Casper Hill, yo, what's good? Fire emoji, what's going on? So, my first question, I always ask every YouTuber this when they come on my streams. When did you start your YouTube? Because you're almost at 10K. Make sure you guys sub them up. The link is down below. JB Hardy, he's a channel member. What's going on, man? Yeah, when did you start your YouTube channel? What made you start a YouTube channel?
All right. I think I started my YouTube channel 2 years ago, but it wasn't this one. I had a first one, which I lost that channel. So now I'm 2.0, which I think I started about a year ago. And then it's pretty simple. I just like talking about my team, like listening to, the people talk after games. So I was like, I'll try it. I tried it on YouTube. I was trying some other stuff, but no one was watching it. It was kind of weird though. So I gave up. People weren't watching it. Tried that. It got some traction and I just stuck with it. And now I do it all the time.
Oh, that's pretty lit. That's pretty lit. I was watching your video, and you got a whole bunch of channel members, and you put the helmet on and everything.
And we do some wild stuff over there, man.
Make sure you guys check those out, man. Make sure you guys sub them up.
Oh, man, I've seen that one before, man. Hey, I've heard that one before, man. I think that started in FTFN. I don't know if I heard that much before that. And that thing's just now everybody. I don't know. Something about it, man.
Yeah. You do resemble Pat. I think you do look like Pat. So everybody's saying it now. Yo, Mahomes. We all. Yeah, I mean, you look like an MVP, man. You look like a guy that got paid $100 million, got a baseball contract. So that's not a bad comparison.
No, I wish I could have some of the money too, but no, I'll take the look, I guess. Mm-hmm. It works.
Somebody else said you look like Trey Lance. I don't know about. I haven't even seen Trey Lance without a helmet yet. I got to look him up though. So, but I'll ask you. So Thanksgiving's coming around, man. Do you think they'll ever take you guys off for Thanksgiving if you guys keep playing bad?
I hope not, man. That's our look. We don't even get primetime games now, man. We lose so much. They don't even get primetime games anymore. So that's our game. I hope not. I really hope not.
We're actually in the same boat. We're in the same boat. We don't have a Monday night game either. We don't have a Sunday night game. We don't have none of that. I think we have the Cowboys game, and that's it. That's it.
Man, the Cowboys, man, they get so many of those games. It's like, who's Monday night? You just guess it's Cowboys, and usually it is.
Yeah, it's either Cowboys, Eagles, or Tom Brady. One of those guys.
Right.
Shout out to On the Warpath. He's an elite channel member. He said, "Got to get that first W in Detroit since 2008." So we have not beat you guys in Detroit since 2008.
And that last one was fun though. That last one was wild. I didn't know that. How many times have we played? Do you know?
I did look it up. I think we're winning the series, and I know the last game we played you guys, Matt Stafford was injured. Jeff Driscoll was the quarterback last year.
That's right. I forgot about that game. I was trying to forget about that game. See, I was trying to, the second half of the season, I was just trying to move on from that. But okay.
Yeah, so that we beat you guys 16-13. That was when Haskins took the famous selfie game.
Yep. Yeah.
The famous selfie game. So, and how are you? So how are you liking Adrian Peterson so far? Former Washington football team player.
I like him. I wasn't expecting him to get this many touches. I didn't think he'd have this much of a role. I didn't even know how long he'd be here, but he's been like our number one back. Now, I don't know if he obviously doesn't have the upside of Swift and guys like that, but I like him. I mean, I think he's been good. He's helped some of these other guys out, and he's been pretty reliable. So I think when you keep the defense guessing, and if you don't make it obvious what they're going to do when he's on the field, I like him. Like he seems like a good leader in our back room, in our running back room. We don't really have one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I know you guys have DeAndre Swift, some other younger backs. Shout out to Door Gunner. He's a channel member as well. The first donation of the night. He says, "Watch the football team getting another team's coach fired after a loss. Patricia going to use that pencil in his ear to file an unemployment application. Hashtag Patricia is trash."
Yikes. That's tough, man.
Yeah.
That's tough. It could happen. It could happen.
Yeah, because if you didn't know, we got Ron Rivera fired last year. So, and I have this question for you later on too. So, I mean, how hot is the seat for Matt Patricia right now in Detroit?
Man, it's hot. It's hot because the chances. I don't know if like when he's gonna get fired. Like I don't know if they'll do it during the year. But all I know is like the chances of him being here after this year is super slim. I mean, they're gonna have to do something. They're gonna have to turn the second half around, get to become a playoff contender because they put that out like this offseason saying they had to be that. And I'm assuming they're gonna go with that. So if they don't become a playoff contender, he'll get fired. But I think it's hot. I mean, I don't know if they'll do it during the season because I don't really know if they see a point there, but they might. I mean, it wouldn't shock me if Bob Quinn did it, trying to maybe save his job, the general manager, just to fire Matt Patricia during the season. But it's hot. It's definitely hot.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean, I think Matt Patricia is 12-27-1 as your coach. And you guys, Bob Quinn fired Jim Caldwell after you made the playoffs. So that was a head scratcher right there. So if you guys do end up losing this game, do you think would you fire Matt Patricia, or do you think Bob Quinn's going to fire what's his name, Matt Patricia?
Man, I don't think they will. I think they'll ride him until they're officially eliminated, if that gets to that point, and then they'll move him. I think they'll keep him because I don't really know where they're going to go from here. I think the ownership's still trying to figure out what they want to do with things now. But yeah, it's kind of a mess. Like it's kind of turned into a mess since we fired Caldwell. I don't know. I want to stick to code. I want to find someone that we can build around at some point, but unfortunately, that may not be this guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, like I said, he's 12-27-1, and what happened with Darius Slay in the off season? Because he wanted out. I mean, what do you think happened behind the scenes with that? And I feel like there's some other guys that didn't really get along with Matt Patricia, and they ended up leaving.
Yeah. I know. I remember when this happened. We talked about this a lot. It's kind of some crazy stuff that Slay said went on in the film room. Just the way he was talking to him. I think what happened is Patricia came in, with the Belichick maybe feel to it, and I think when Caldwell was here, that wasn't the feel of the locker room. I think it was more of I think it was just more. You can call him a players coach. I think he was more for his guys, and I don't think it was as maybe strict. I think it was looser, and that's fine. Some coaches do better with that, some don't. But I think when Patricia came in, he had the Patriot kind of feel to him. That's kind of how he wanted to do things. And if players, maybe weren't kind of just quiet and did their own thing or did it the way he liked it, then I think it got kind of nasty in there. I think we saw that with Diggs getting traded. I think that was kind of the same reason too. So I think it happened, like you said, to a lot of people in that locker room, and then he went out and got his guys. But it was a mess. I mean, Slay wasn't playing his best. I mean, there's no denying that, but. I just think ultimately, man, he's a guy that not every player works for. Not every player fits for what he wants to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's kind of got that my way, the highway kind of thing, Bill Belichick. But
yeah.
So what's going on with Matthew Stafford? How has he been this year, and do you think he's going to be brought? And what's his contract situation too? I was trying to look that up, but I didn't really get a chance to look at that.
His contract's through 2022, so he's got a couple years left right now. It's pretty expensive. I mean, last offseason they couldn't trade him because it was just so much money. Right, so far this year it's been pretty much a letdown. I mean, the expectations were super high coming into it because the 8 games that he was healthy, he put up his best numbers we've ever seen. He's aggressive. He was taking shots. Now I think there's factors that he's had to deal with because I think last year Galladay was such a big part of his offense, and without him for some weeks it hurt. But he's just been a little off. He's just made a couple of mistakes that have just cost us because we're not a great team aside from Stafford. I mean, we're pretty much average to below average everywhere else. So I think, you need Stafford to play really well to win football games. And he's just made a couple mistakes, maybe uncharacteristic, just a few timely ones that have just kind of killed us in a couple of games. The last 2 in particular, right? I mean, you had the Colts, he had a fumble and then a strip sack, like back-to-back possessions. And then we saw last week versus the Vikings, back-to-back picks, when they're about to score. That's what it's been. I mean, I don't think he's played terrible outside of that, but that's really what it's been. It's just been a couple of key mistakes.
Mm-hmm. So he's been kind of up and down, turn over the ball, some
Yeah.
fumbles here and there. So what do you would you keep him next year? And it's kind of the same thing with Patricia. It's kind of a marriage a little bit. Do you think they're going to bring Stafford back or trade him?
Okay, so if they keep Patricia, I think they'll bring Stafford back. Now, I think if they keep what's here and they're able to maybe turn the season around a little bit, get back in playoff mode so that they can stay, I think they'll bring him back and maybe they'll draft someone in a mid round, stuff like that, to put some behind him. Because I don't think they have David Blau right now as their third. I don't know if they actually think he's the future or can be. So I think if those guys stay, I have a really good feeling that Stafford's going to stay and they're going to keep him and then try to develop someone behind him. If they get fired, I don't know, because I know that Stafford's our best asset. I mean, we don't really have anything else that you can with a lot of trade value, because the guys that we brought in are, one, to win now, and they're his Patriot guys. So if we don't win, I don't know how much teams are really going to give up for this. I mean, he signed Trufant to a pretty big deal, and they couldn't trade him. That's why they released him. So he's our best piece when it comes to trading. So I think if Patricia and Bob Quinn get fired, I think there's a probably pretty high chance that Stafford will probably get traded with him. But there's always that chance that your next head coach comes in and he likes him and that he wants to keep a quarterback to groom the younger guy.
Mm-hmm. What do you think you could get back for Stafford in this offseason if you had to trade him?
Oh man, I don't know. I mean, the money I think is tough, man. I don't want to trade him. I like Stafford. I really do. He's been a little off this year, but I like him. But man, I never even thought into it because I really don't want to. But I don't know. I don't think you get 2 firsts, but I think you could slide out a first and something else. I think you could get that for him, because I just think there's a lot of teams out there that, could look at him and say, from his body of work, like, if we had this guy, we could probably take it to the next level. I just don't think the Lions are that team yet. They're not there where they can just put a good to above average quarterback or a great quarterback in and they'll win a lot of games. They need a lot more than that, but maybe you put them on a team that's maybe got the other things at a better level, and all of a sudden you put Stafford. I mean, maybe the 49ers, I don't know. If someone's really trying to make like a legit Super Bowl push, and someone might be interested in doing it, if it's like a 1-year thing, like the Colts or something, maybe they give you a top pick for him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think you could probably get like a second rounder for Matt. I know he's has some back injuries and he's still solid. He's still solid. I mean, I think he's a top 15 quarterback. He just had some injuries in the concussion. He's been through a lot these last few years. Oscar host Sway Montel, thank you for the donation. He says, "Your thoughts on my friend Deshaun Hand? Went to school with a guy."
Hey, that's pretty cool, man. That's pretty cool. I like Deshaun. They don't really start him right now. His role will expand a little bit with Flowers out. I like him. He's kind of cool. I mean, I don't know what his future is going to look like here, because he's kind of just a role player, but he's cool. I like him. He had a good rookie season. He's been kind of quiet since then, but I think he's getting better this year. He was injured, that's why.
Mm-hmm. King Sean 32, he says Terry McLaurin or Kenny Galladay.
Ooh, I don't know about you. Answer that one. You answer that.
I like Kenny a lot, and I wanted us to trade for him because there was the rumors about him being on the trade block. Same thing with Marvin Jones. I wouldn't mind going after Marvin Jones. I think Kenny, you probably would have to give up a second round pick for Kenny, or third and a fifth or something like that. But I like Kenny a lot. I think Terry is going to be, when it's all said and done, I think Terry's going to be better than Kenny. I don't know if he's better than Kenny Galladay right now. And I know a lot of Washington fans will be very upset if I say Terry's not better than Kenny right now. But I think Kenny will. I mean, I think Terry will be better than Kenny by the end of this year, by the end of next year for sure. Terry's a beast, man, and I can't wait to see him play against Jeff Okudah. How has Jeff Okudah looked so far?
He's been kind of like a rest of their team, pretty much up and down. I mean, he got all really slow, and we didn't have Trufant, so he was just kind of like, all right, you're a starter. And he played against. They put him on the one. They put him against Devontae. They put him the next week against Hopkins, and it didn't look so good. You could tell he was a rookie. I think he's improved since then. He's definitely getting better. Man, I love his tackling. I think he's still struggling in zone. I mean, they didn't probably play a lot of Ohio State. That's probably why. But he's improving, and man, I think the expectations are just super high for him because he's a top 3 pick. You expect this guy to come in and just be a monster, and he hasn't been that. So I think I see improvement, but he's not maybe what people were expecting this offseason.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people being really hard on Chase Young right now. Chase Young has
Yeah.
3.5 sacks.
Yep.
But he's leading, he's leading all rookies in quarterback pressures. I think he's the highest rated rookie or defensive rookie on Pro Football Focus, but he's getting a lot of flack, and fans are giving him a hard time because they think Chase Young is supposed to get 15 sacks as a rookie. So
right,
I mean,
he missed some time. Did he miss some time this year?
yeah. So he didn't play the whole Ravens game. He really wanted to sack Lamar Jackson, but he didn't play the whole game. Yeah, King Sean said Chase has 3.5 sacks. So it's not bad. He has 3.5 sacks. He got hurt in the beginning of the Browns game, and he hasn't really had any. I think he had like one forced fumble. So so people are just thinking since he is the generational talent, that's what people are saying. He's supposed to have 20 sacks already. So it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, I think he'll be great. I love this guy coming out of draft. I was so hoping that you guys would pass on him. I didn't. I was trying to make so many scenarios up that they could pass on him. I'm like, oh, they don't need him. They'll trade back. Nope. You guys took him.
Yeah,
yeah.
A lot of people wanted us to trade back and probably get a quarterback or draft Tua or Herbert or whatever, but it didn't end up. And I see you got the Michigan helmet behind you.
Right.
So we got some Buckeyes coming in. Okuda's a Buckeye for you guys too. So I'm excited for that matchup. So you guys made some moves. Shout out to AM Hunter, man. He's a channel member. I love his profile picture, man. I love he's got the best profile picture out there. Shout out to Burgundy and Gold Fan all day. He's a channel member as well. Shout out to him. Shout out to Kenny Man Fitness. He's an elite channel member. I see you in the chat, man. Shout out to him. So you guys did make some moves at the trade deadline, or because the trade deadline was last week. So how do you feel about the moves that you guys made at the trade deadline, or moves that you think you should have made?
Yeah, we traded for Everson Griffin, which is I think is going to be important because Trey Flowers is on IR, so I think that worked out pretty well. I mean, I think I put myself in their shoes and I said, okay, if I'm Bob Quinn, I'm Matt Patricia, I'd be willing to maybe try to swing another deal, whatever they thought would take impact. I mean, if that's a corner and you just have to eat the money or something that doesn't really help you in the future, I think I would have been willing to make a move. I mean, if I would have put myself in their spot, I would have said, hey, let's give up our assets now because 8 games from now, it may not matter. We don't have to get 8 more games. I don't know what our future is. I mean, who knows what my head coaching career is going to look like. And you can't really worry about the future draft picks. I mean, there's a balance, but it's tough to worry about future draft picks if you might not be here. So for them, I would have been willing to jump on more trades, possibly make some more moves. But I'm glad we at least bought and we didn't sell because that might have gotten fired pretty early.
Mm-hmm. Right. So, I mean, you guys, like you said, Everson Griffin, you guys need help with the pass rush. How did you like the signing of Mohamed Sanu?
Oh yeah, Mohamed Sanu. Hey, he might play this weekend. I think we might see him this weekend. I mean, Galladay's still hurt. Hawkinson, he doesn't look like he's going to play either. So I think we might see Sanu. I don't think we saw him last week because he only practiced one day, but he might play this weekend. I mean, I don't know. He seems just like a nice possession guy. Was with the see. This is the thing. If we sign someone that's ever been with the Patriots, man, that's the whole comment section. The Detroit Patriots. So hey man, it seems like everybody that we do sign at least at some point, at least walked past the Patriots Stadium or something. So I think he'll help. I really don't know what to expect from him though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we got the same thing going on here. Ron Rivera, that we're basically the Washington Panthers,
right?
He bought in Scott Turner, who's a former Panther. Who else? Thomas Davis was a former Panther. We have so many former Panthers guys on the coaching staff. I mean, we basically are. I mean, the trainer came from the Panthers. I think our salary cap guy came from the Panthers. So it's basically the Washington Panthers again.
Right.
Shout out to Door Gunner. He says Okuda is going to need a bath after Terry does him dirty.
I've never heard that. That's pretty good. I like that. Yeah.
Door Gunner. He comes in. He comes in with hot fire. He comes in with hot fire. He's a channel member too. So what's going on with your defense, man? You guys have been giving up a lot of run defense. I was looking up some stats here. I think you guys are giving up 148 yards per game rushing, and I saw there's 2 plays I think where you guys only had 10 guys on the field. And instead of having 11, and I think Dalvin Cook might have scored on the play. I could be wrong, but yeah, I think. Am I right about that? Or
you're right. I don't know. We've had 3 in 2 weeks. I know that. And then last week it was the 70-yard run. We had 10 guys.
Oh yeah, 3 times.
3-2. Hey, it was obvious too, man. Like I'm watching it back, and Jamie Collins is sitting there, and there's no defensive lineman in front of him, and I'm like, why did like you guys don't realize there's just a big hole here? He's like doing something with his hands, like someone's got to call a timeout. So he goes down and plays like a defensive lineman. So they just push him out of the way. There's no linebacker. I was like, what the heck? That's not good, man. It's tough when you go see those because it's woo. But no, I think with our run defense, I think we've definitely improved. I mean, our first 2 weeks against the run was really tough. We've improved. Like if you look at us, I think it's over the last 6 games, we've only allowed 4 yards per carry as an average, which is good. It was really until last week Minnesota kind of ran all over us, but I think we've improved there. We've definitely gotten better. We started to put some different packages on there. Like we put Shelton next to Pennicini. So we got 2 really big guys at defensive line. So that's improved. But if we only have 10 guys on the field, then it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm. So I mean, how has the defensive coordinator been? Do you think this is going to be his last year here too, or has he improved a little bit for you guys?
Man, I don't think he'll be here. Patricia's not. I don't think he'll stay because I just think they go as a group. Like Patricia goes, I think they're going to go as a group together. I don't know if any of these coordinators are going to get a chance to stay. I don't really see it. They've all been brought in by him. I did see something today, which here's an improvement. I mean, if you want to look at this improvement, it's an improvement. With Caldwell, we had a play where we only had 9 guys on the field, and Bob Quinn said it wouldn't happen again. With Patricia, we only had 10, so we improved there. I saw that. It's like, hey, you always gotta look for the positives, man. When things are going wrong, I guess that's the positive.
Right. So who's been some studs for you guys and some duds? I do this almost every video. Who's been some studs and duds for you guys? We'll do the offense first. So who's been some studs on offense for you guys so far?
No, I'm playing. Hawkinson. I think Hawkinson's been our stud. We've also our offensive line. Like our offensive line's been solid. Jonah Jackson, there's another Ohio State guy. He stepped in. He's played really well. He started guard as soon as training camp hit. And I think he's been good. I think Decker, he got paid big amount. This is really the left side. You got Jonah, Decker, you got Frank. Those guys are playing well. And I think Hawkinson's been really good. Galladay, obviously, when he's healthy. But aside from that, it's been kind of hit and miss with everybody. I mean, which kind of stinks. Everybody's kind of had up and down games. But I would say those are the players that have stuck out to me.
Mm-hmm. So how do you like the matchups against Chase Young and Montez Sweat, Kerrigan? How do you feel you guys are going to hold up?
Man, I'm worried. I'm worried. Like, you see Stafford getting hit a lot. He's trying to do a lot with the ball, especially when we're down. He's not super mobile. I was watching your guys' defense today, and some of the numbers, like everybody's putting up crazy numbers on your defensive line. I don't know if we have a single defense lineman that has made pressures as any of your starting 5. I don't like even Kerrigan. I don't think so. They're getting a lot of pressure. It worries me for sure. I hope if the Lions are going to take shots, they max protect, man. They got to give them a couple extra blockers in there, but it's got to be quick. I think it's got to just get the ball in your hands, take the quick looks. If you can set up a deep shot by putting some extra blockers protecting Stafford, then go for it. But, we can't have him sitting there with just a 5 offensive linemen and it's a 4 versus 5 because I think we're going to lose that battle.
Mm. And what's the injury report for you guys? I meant to ask that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Galladay, he's probably not going to play. He didn't play last week either. Still no participation. TJ Hawkinson's also looking like he's not going to play, but I don't know. I mean, if it's just 2 days, he may. It's a toe injury for him, so we'll see how that goes. Stafford's going to play. I mean, he's been full. I think everybody else we're just kind of limited. We have some guys that are kind of hit and miss, but our offensive line, it seems like it could be at full strength again. The offensive line, though, we kind of just move it around. Like it's not usually the same at offensive line. They just move around pieces, but it seems like everyone else is pretty much healthy. It's just those 2 weapons, which is not good because Stafford's top targets Galladay. When we haven't had Galladay, we haven't won a game. And then Hawkinson's kind of is 1 or 2, and Hawkinson's may not play. So it's going to be tough. But we did get our rookie back, Hunter Bryant. So we haven't seen him this year. We might get to see him. Yeah,
actually, I like Hunter Bryant a lot out of Washington. I wanted to draft him too. I think he went undrafted though.
Yeah. He did.
And because we ended up getting Thaddeus Moss and you guys got Hunter Bryant. I like both of them coming out of the draft. They both were undrafted. But TJ Hawkinson, you think he's going to be out?
I think he's not going to play. I hope not. I'm really hoping not. Like, even if he doesn't practice, man, because our passing off it's not great. And Stafford that's his guy. Like, that's his due when Galladay's not there. If he doesn't play, it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see other players get involved. I guess that's a positive.
And what's Galladay's injury?
Galladay is a hip injury. It happened during the game, I think, versus Minnesota. No one touched him. He just did like a little slant or something, and he just walked off holding his hip. They were saying he could be on IR. He didn't get there, but it'll probably be next week before he comes back, at least.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, with those two guys out, this game might be a winnable game. I'm not gonna even say that because we were so awful last week. I mean, my gosh, we had 5 turnovers against the Giants. I mean, I actually see a Giants fan in here trolling a little bit because we lost. We had 5 turnovers. We fumbled the ball. I don't know if you saw the one play where Antonio Gibson fumbled, and then Logan Thomas, who actually played for you guys.
Yep.
And Jaden McKissick. Logan Thomas, my gosh, he pissed me off. This man had hands like a snake, butter hands, dropped the ball. I mean, there was a fumble. I don't know if you've seen it, but you should watch it. Literally, the fumble's literally in front of him. Logan Thomas goes down to pick up, but he just misses the fumble somehow. And it was crazy. But what was your assessment on Logan Thomas and some former Lions guys? How about Jaden McKissick?
I like JD. I really like JD last year. We used him a lot. I mean, we got this guy really involved in the pass game too. And I see you guys have McKissick like that running back group you guys have, especially if Gibson plays, because I know he's healthy now. Like that's a tough group. And what you saw against Kamara and Cook is that passing the ball to running backs can kill us. So I like McKissick. I really do. I think that was a really good move by you guys. I mean, I don't know how you feel about it, but I like him. And then Logan Thomas, when he was here, I think he was just kind of a rotational piece. I don't think he got super involved. I mean, yeah, we kind of just reset that whole group. Like one year, we just kind of reset, and then we just brought in Hawkinson James, and we just kind of redid it. So I don't really know how I feel too much about Logan. I mean, I think he's solid. He's been good for you guys, except for maybe not actually. He's had some fumbles, missing balls and stuff. So maybe not.
Yeah, Logan Thomas. I mean, he was a former quarterback, and now he's a tight end. I mean, the guy. Yeah. He's a good. I see Laura Watts just said that. He had a good game against the Cowboys, where everybody has a good game against the Cowboys. They're like historically the worst defense in the NFL. But yeah, I mean, there's just some games where he's just awful. But I do like J.D. McKissick. I do like him a lot. I like him a lot. So yeah, Hugh Guard said Adrian Peterson's calling us out. I don't know if you heard the comments that AP said about Washington. He did say, I forgot what he said. I'm paraphrasing. I think he said that we're gonna miss him or something like that. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. But he's gonna. They said I forgot what he said, but he was kind of talking some trash. Mm-hmm. So we'll see what happens with AP. But we'll get back to the studs and duds here. So who's with some duds on your offense?
Or duds, man. I don't want to put Stafford here. I'm not putting Stafford there. I won't do it. But I think you could. I think you might be able to put him there at the right games. He got to be a lot better. Duds, man. We've had everybody have their dud moments so far this year. Like I think Big V's been kind of not really what we expected when we gave him such a big deal. And he's kind of playing at guard. I didn't think he'd play that much guard. I think he's going to be our tackle. But I think everybody's kind of been a dud at points. I mean, we got guys that we're usually relying on to make plays, and they're not. Like Amendola's dropping passes just here and there. Galladay even dropping his passes. I don't know if there's a player offensively that stands out to me, though. Really, I mean, honestly, you could put Stafford because we had such high expectations for this year. But I think everybody's just had their moments there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Dorgunner said Patricia's a dud. But I did see that you guys are leading the league in drops or something like that.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. So I mean that is a concern. You said Danny Amendola, that's another former Patriot right there. He's how old is he? Like 35 years old or something like that.
Yeah.
So I mean, we've had our fair share of drops too. So that's what's going to make this game interesting. That we both teams make a lot of mistakes. So it's going to come down to who makes the least amount of mistakes. So let's switch over to your defense here. Who showed up big for your defense so far this year?
Okay, here. The former Patriot, I think, has showed up big. I think Duron Harmon's he might be our best. I think Harmon, Shelton, another former Patriot, and my guy John Penasini. I really like what I've seen there. Those are probably the 3 guys I'll point to. Also, Amani was doing really well. Like, he was putting up some really good numbers at corner. Until last week, it was weird. I don't know what it was, but they didn't start him. And, I was like, why are they not starting him? He came in and it was like they just attacked him 3 times and they scored. It was pretty bad. Okay, they knew something I didn't know. I wasn't ready for all that. Duds, yeah, I mean, I think our studs has been Pennicini, Shelton, and Duron Harmon. Man, I think it's kind of like the offense. They just have their moments. I think we've shown flashes from certain players, but consistently, man, we've had a lot of injuries and things like that. We really haven't got much consistency outside of those couple guys.
Mm-hmm. And who's been some disappointments so far for you guys on defense?
Okay. I would have said Desmond Trufant, but last week he played well. Up his first 2 games he played, like he got hurt during the games, but it was not good. Like it was really bad. So I won't put him there right now because last game he played pretty well against Minnesota. Oh man, some duds here. Actually, here, let me go back for the studs. Just for anybody watching, Romeo Core, I got to put him in the studs. I think he's been our best pass rusher. But man, I think Jelani Tavai is probably somewhere in there. I mean, he's looked just slow this year. He just looks slow. He wasn't that fast coming out of the draft though, so I guess that's kind of expected. I don't know. I think it's kind of like the offense. I think it's kind of like I don't think anybody's been like holding them down. I just think it's been flashes from everybody.
Mm-hmm. And how about Jared? Is his name Gerard Davis? He was a former first-round pick for you guys.
Yeah, JD. He's really had a different role this year. I mean, and they started doing this, I think, last year. They've just taken him out of pretty much a lot of pass situations. Like they don't put him in pass coverage situations. If it's a third down, if he's on the field, he's pretty much blitzing or he's going to spy, but he's not going to go and drop into pass coverage because that's been his biggest problem. Aside from that, he's not bad. I mean, he's very fast. He's a really strong guy, and he can get like some pressure. So you blitz him, he runs through running backs. He hits hard, but he just couldn't cover. I mean, it just seemed like he was lost.
Mm. So thank you for the donation, Juice Alert. He says Matthew Stafford is a really good tier 2 quarterback that has been wasted by the Lions franchise. Also, Ron Rivera should have never benched Haskins. Start him again. I'll let you. I'll let you respond to that one first, dose.
The second part of the first part.
Oh, you can respond to all of it.
Okay. Second tier. Man, I hate saying wasted because I mean they've given weapons at least offensively. Like in terms of it's how you look at it, right? If you look at it and say, okay, what do we care about? If we care about stats, I mean he's put up some ridiculous stats. Like he's put up Hall of Fame stats, no question. He's had some good weapons around him. They put guys around him as weapons, but wasted. I think it's fair to say that he's never had a running game. He's had one year of a defense. So you're not going to win a lot of games when you do that, not consistently. So I see what you're saying there. I think it's fair. Then Rivera never benched Haskins. Man, I don't know. Alex Smith is kind of concerned me a little. Like I know he had the turnovers, but I'm concerned just a little bit because I'm just like, man, some of those picks like they weren't too awful. I think the last one where he kind of sailed over his head. Who was that to McKissick? I think. Like I didn't think it's was too awful. I didn't really watch Dwayne Haskins. I wasn't a huge Dwayne Haskins. I wasn't a huge Haskins believer coming out of the draft. No hate to the Ohio State guys, but I really don't usually believe in the Ohio State quarterbacks in the NFL. So I didn't really think much of him being that great. I was kind of surprised they benched him though. How early they did.
Right. So I mean, would you who do you think is better, Stafford or Kirk Cousins?
Oh, I'm taking Stafford. I'm taking Stafford. Like, yeah. See, if it depends, what we're looking at, but I think Kirk really just plays off the run. I think he plays off the run heavy. And I think Stafford's played where it's been all on his arm and he's done some really good things. But this year, if you're talking this year on, he's made some big mistakes. But honestly, Kirk has like 10 picks too. So he's not much better.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, I agree with you on that one. We had Kirk here in DC. But no, and Juice, I will get to that and talk about Haskins. He's a polarizing figure. He's the talk of the town. I mean, he is a first-round pick. The league done messed up and all that stuff. The Instagram videos. I don't know if you saw his Instagram videos over the summer. Did you see any of them?
No.
So, yeah, I mean, Haskins, he worked out with Antonio Brown. He worked out with Terrell Owens. He worked out with Chad Ochocinco. I think he worked out with everybody. So I want to get your take on developing quarterbacks as well. And, you see how teams and coaches are giving up on quarterbacks. You look at Josh Rosen, and other guys like that. So what's your how would you develop? Mitch Trubisky had 3 years, but Haskins only getting 4 games. Josh Rosen only got 1 year. So what's your take on developing quarterbacks now in 2020?
I think you have to understand the situation you're throwing him into. You know, you got to look at what team you're actually putting around him, because I think if you put a quarterback in a situation that's not very good, a lot of times high drafted quarterbacks, they're not going into a good spot. I think it's hard to say that, you know, you expect them to be great. Like, you know, you want to see flashes, but they're not going to usually be consistent. I mean, they're young, they're new. And like I say, if you're usually getting a quarterback in the top 10, there's a reason you're in the top 10. So you're probably not a very good team. I think it's good to put a quarterback behind someone. I think that's always a good thing to do. But I think, you know, you see with some teams, like the teams that have really hit, and, you know, you see Lamar taking off, Mahomes, those teams hitting like really early on their guys. I think what's helped them is they put them into a situation that's been perfect. I mean, they put them around at least a solid team, and they're into a system that just plays right to their strengths. So what they do, they try to keep it to, you know, kind of what he liked to do coming out of college. But I think if you take a top pick, you have to be a little bit willing to give him some time if you're not going to put a veteran in front of him.
Yeah, I like what you said. You got to give guys some time. You know, what would you have benched Haskins? Did you watch Haskins at all this year? Would you have benched him after 4 games? And what do you think his trade value is right now?
Ooh, I really didn't watch Haskins. I'm not gonna lie, I really didn't watch him this year. You said how many games did you say he got benched after?
4 games.
4 games. Yeah, that's kind of soon. I mean, he did play a little bit last year. I don't know. I mean, do you think you guys have a great team around him?
I always said, you know, the offseason signings that we made. I mean, like you said, we signed your guy Logan Thomas. You know, he's our tight end number 1.
Right.
We signed JD McKissick. I like him a lot. You know, and our best receiver is Terry McLaurin, who is I think arguably a top 10 wide receiver in the league.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, offensive line is a little shaky. So I personally wouldn't have benched him so early, because it was supposed to be a developmental season. And you got to give the guy I feel like they should have at least gave him 8 games. And they benched him after the Ravens game when he had 300 yards. Now, there's a lot of speculation and rumors saying that he was kind of bragging about his stats after the game. There's a lot of rumors and speculation and you know, smear campaign going on right now. So I would have let him roll out, honestly, because, I mean, you look at where we are now. You know,
right.
Ron Rivera changed up and he said, you know, we're in win now mode. And we've only won 1 game, and that was against the Cowboys. We lost to the Giants twice.
Yeah.
You know, a bad team, in my opinion. And then we got dusted by the Rams, who are a good team. We lost 30-10. So now it kind of is blowing up in Ron's face a little bit. And now we got Kyle Allen. He's out, and you said that you're impressed with Alex Smith so far. So,
man, like, okay, yeah, I think you're making you make a good point there with Haskins. Now, but Smith, when I watch him, the thing that concerns me about quarterbacks we play, it's not mobility. Like, I'm not too worried about that. That's one thing under Patricia that I've seen. If you bring a mobile quarterback, usually they don't run well. I mean, we've seen it even this year. Kyler Murray, he really didn't do anything on the ground, and we won that game. We got him under pressure. It's the young quarterbacks; they like to move. Those guys we usually have success against. It's the guys like Alex Smith that, you know, he's back from his injury now, but it's these guys that are older players. They've been playing for a long time. They read the defenses, and I think a lot of it has to do with some of the young pieces we have in that secondary, a lot of new moving pieces. And he just kind of moves the defense with his eyes, like that kind of thing. You know, you get us in zone. He does stuff pre-snap, moved all these motions to kind of set up their offense. And I think part of that is our defense maybe not ready, but that's what concerns me about him. You know, because I feel like you get a guy in there that's going to make mistakes here and there. Like, yeah, he made mistakes, but I think some of those were just missed throws. You know, I think some were just not great throws. So I'm a little bit worried about Alex Smith. I think, you know, we make veteran quarterbacks that aren't playing super great look really great, and then all of a sudden they get a big contract.
yeah, I mean, you guys have had some interesting games. The Falcons game where you guys came back and won, right?
Mm-hmm.
Todd Gurley had Shaq in the full mode where he was supposed to score. But I'll let you respond to this comment. Juice Alert, thank you for the second donation of the night from my guy Juice. Make sure you guys sub up Juice Alert. He's a great guy, great YouTuber, has a lot of good insight. He's a Dwayne Haskins supporter, one of the few out there. So make sure you guys sub him up. So how do you feel about his comment, Dose?
Man, look, I mean, I've watched the Lions for a while, and I watched the NFL for a little while. Kelvin, dude, I've never seen a receiver like that. He's just such a big guy. I mean, it just seemed like a mismatch. It just didn't matter. He could play hurt. I think it's just so unfortunate he had injuries and stuff. But man, the dude was crazy talented. Like, I didn't get to see Randy Moss and things like that, so I don't know how Jerry Rice looked in that. But I know from what I've seen, Kelvin, maybe he doesn't have the best stats. Maybe he hasn't had the most team success, but when he's healthy, you really just can't match. You can't one-on-one with him. It doesn't seem like.
Yeah, it's crazy that he retired early. I hate to see it. Sometimes it does happen with the Lions. Barry Sanders retired early, Calvin Johnson retiring. So hopefully, unexpectedly, Matt Stafford just
Hopefully it stops there.
yeah, I don't know where Matt Stafford's just gonna retire. He's just gonna give up. He's gonna pull Andrew Luck. But I wanted to ask you. So what's the biggest strength to you guys? What do you guys do really really well? What's something that you think your team's going to be successful with on Sunday?
I think actually, I think we're gonna run. I think we'll run the ball pretty well with Peterson. I don't know what he said, but I think Peterson will have a solid day. We've been kind of up and down versus the teams that we play. That seems to be like if there's really any major weakness. I mean, it's not really a weakness for your defense, but it's maybe a place that you can attack. I think in the inside of your run defense. So I think Peterson will have a solid day, and I think our run defense has shown strides. But the real place that for some reason it's just been great is special teams. Aside from Matt Prater, when it comes to kick coverage, punt coverage, we had blocked 2 punts last week, and the week before that we blocked another punt. Our special teams it's crazy. It's really good. But then you have Matt Prater who's just kind of holding it back, and he's just been inconsistent here. He's like, I think he's missed 6 kicks this year, which is kind of not his style. But the special teams, man. I mean, it sounds like that's what a bad team would probably say. Like, yeah, hey, we're good at special teams, but it's the truth, man. That's what we got right now.
No, I'm telling you, special teams goes a long way. I know you guys have been blocking some punts.
Yep.
You guys blocked like 2 punts in the game or something like. And our kicker Dustin Hopkins, he's been a dud so far. He's been pretty bad. He's missed a couple kicks. I think he finally broke the streak because he's missed an extra point. I think he's missed at least 2 extra points. He's missed a couple easy 43, 45 yarders. I mean, if the game comes down to Dustin Hopkins, then yeah, I don't know. Yeah, we probably are not going to win. Derek JB, thank you for the donation. He said, if you could go back in the past, in past, what player would you put on your team now? First, Washington football, and second, Lions. If I had to go back in the past, maybe Sean Taylor, because we need a safety really bad, and Sean Taylor was a beast. It would be between Sean, John Riggins, and Art Monk. But we need a quarterback too. So Theismann, I had to go back to the 80s and 90s, that long ago. So I guess I would probably go with Sean Taylor. I think his defense would really. I think him with Chase Young, and I don't know, Chase Young. He put a big hit on Adrian Peterson, so that's going to be a good matchup right there too. But I'll probably go with Sean Taylor right now. I'll probably go with Sean. Or somebody said Darryl Green. That's a good one too. So we got a couple good ones. Art Monk is a good one. Sean Taylor. That's a good question, Derek. That's a good question, Derek JB. It's between Sean Taylor, John Riggo, Art Monk, some of those guys. So it'll be between them. How about you, Dose, for your Lions?
If I could take someone from the Lions,
mm-hmm.
I'm thinking one guy, a rookie Sue. Ndamukong Suh is a rookie. I would put him on this defensive line. Get a lot of pressure, help the run defense. That guy was just, I mean, he got in trouble a lot, but it was fun to watch. I mean, he was the tone setter defensively, which I think we need. And of course, Barry. You gotta put Barry. I've never even seen the guy play, right? I mean, obviously, but hey, I mean, what I've heard, what I've seen the highlights, like you put that guy with Stafford. I've always had that, like, okay, if you had a healthy, wide receiver group, you put Stafford out there and he's not making the mistakes, which is just uncharacteristic this year. You put Barry in the backfield, man. That'd be something else.
Yeah, Sue was something. I think he had a penalty every game. He always had an unsportsmanlike conduct every game. Yes. And didn't he like step on somebody's head or something like that, or something crazy? Like
he stepped on Rodgers, man. And that's why you love him. Like you just never forget that, man. They're pulling him off, and he's done some wild thing. Like he's definitely taken it too far, but
yeah,
we
had a guy like that named Albert Hainsworth. When he was with the Titans, I think he like spiked somebody's head or something like that. It was crazy. It was crazy. But shout out to Donnie Anthony. Thank you for the donation. He said, I'm a hardcore Giants fan. See, we got Giants fans in the chat now because We played the Giants last week, but I welcome all fans. I welcome Eagles fans, Giants fans, Lions fans, whatever fan you are. If you want to come in and listen, you definitely can. If you want to troll, I don't get mad at you. It is what it is. You know how the NFC least is. We have a lot of friendly fire. He said, I'm a hardcore Giants fan, but I'm a sub because your content is really good. I appreciate that, man. Definitely coming from a Giants fan, I appreciate that a lot. We gotta beat you guys. For some reason, we just can't beat Danny. We just can't beat him, man. And Danny, I don't even want to talk about it. It pisses me off because we lost to them twice. We really should have beat them twice. We really should have beat them twice. And I want to ask you this too. If you're so, let's say, I don't know if you watched the Giants game. You probably did, versus Washington, the first one. So the score is 20-13. So there's about, when we score, there's 30 seconds left. So it's 19-20. You got to kick the extra point or go for two.
That's right.
What are you doing if you're a coach?
This is really early in the season, right? I mean,
it really wasn't that long because we played the Giants really because we had a bye week, so we played them like 3 weeks ago, if that.
I didn't watch the 2-point play. I don't know what they did, but I know I've seen that. I've seen okay, they went for two, and it's just like that's kind of weird when you see the film plays and they pile up. I probably take the extra point, man. I take the extra point.
Right.
Yeah, I'm taking the extra point.
Yeah, that's what the common sense of football would tell you to do. But of course, we have a guy who's named Riverboat Ron, and I'm not gonna hate on Ron right now, but Ron's been very interesting for the first couple of games this year. He's been very interesting. Derek JB, thank you for the donation once again. He says, if the Lions had Barry Sanders and Calvin Johnson 81, do you think y'all win? Do you think y'all win the NFC North?
I would like to think so. I mean, I would hope so. I don't know though, dude. I don't know, man. I mean, those are offensive players. Now you got to talk about our defense, right? So I would hope so. Yes, sure. Let's do it.
No, I mean, if you have Barry Sanders and Calvin, then yeah, you're definitely going to at least be 10-6 with those two guys helping out Matthew Stafford. Because you add Calvin Johnson to Kenny Galladay and Marvin Jones Jr. and I guess Danny Amendola and Agnew, that's his name, Jamal Agnew or something like that.
Yep.
Yeah, and now you have Mohamed Sanu. So you guys got a couple receivers. Kenny Galladay, he's just got it. He's just got to stay healthy. He's got to stay healthy.
Right. That'd be nasty.
Juice Holler, thank you for the donation. He says Aaron Rodgers is the Detroit Lions daddy. Go Pack, go. Hopefully Super Bowl 55 is ours. Rodgers is top 3 all the time if he gets the second ring.
Hey, this is the thing. With Patricia, this is the one team that he can beat. Like, he can actually beat the Packers, but Trubisky can't do it. No, Trubisky's had a huge game. Kirk Cousins, nope. But we can beat Rodgers, so that's something. And I'll take that. That's something.
When was the last time you guys beat the Packers?
Hold up. I think actually 2 years ago. Yeah. Well, we haven't beat that many division teams with Patricia. So, but not last season. They were close. Not last season. The year before, we swept them. But I don't know if Rodgers played in one of those games. But we'll just say he did. He's still part of the team. It still counts.
Shout out to Big Boy Diehard Fan Walker. He is a channel member. He says, "Ron, stay high till draft night." Are you talking about like under the influence? Are you talking about reefer with Ron? Ron might have been under the influence for that decision to go for 2. He really might have. I don't know what he was thinking right there. So I want to ask you what matchups are you looking forward to? Of course, we're looking for Terry versus Jeff Okuda. What would your guess be? Over or under 100 yards for Terry McLaurin?
Whoa, I'm gonna say I'll say under. I'm assuming they're gonna put Okuda on him. I'm thinking they'll put Okuda on him. That's kind of how they've done it this year. I'll go under, but he'll have a couple big plays. Maybe he'll get like 80 yards or something. I mean. Yeah. I think what's really gonna hurt us is those running backs. I think that's where your yards are gonna pile up. Yeah,
so I get that too. I mean, 80 is not bad at all. 80. Door Gunner says Terry's dropping 300 yards on Okuda. But I think you're right. I think this is a game where Washington can finally get the run game going. Our run game has been pretty bad, to be honest with you. our offensive coordinator, he doesn't really believe in running the football. He likes to throw the ball. He likes to throw the ball to his running backs. He's more of a passing coordinator. Now we do give teams 20 points to start off the game. That's one thing we do really well. We started off down 20-0 against the Giants. We were down 20-0 against the Cardinals. We were down I want to say 10-0 against the Ravens. We were down 17-0 in a game that we won against the Eagles. I mean, we really give up points. We really give up points, and that's one thing that I will say. We give up a lot of points to the other team. So I do think I do think I do think that definitely Gibson should have a good game. And then I want to ask you about your offense too. Who do you think is going to step up for you guys offensively in this game?
With those injuries, man, I don't know. I'm thinking Marvin Jones, but I'm really looking for Stafford here. I think I got to point to Stafford because I think he's got to be the guy. Like he's just had 4 turnovers last 2 weeks. They've killed us. I think he's gonna. I mean, he didn't practice last week. He got back to practice this week. I think Stafford's gonna play really well. I usually Stafford doesn't string together bad games. He usually bounces back. So I think he'll be the guy to stand out. Now, with the last thing you were talking about, real quick. You said you give up leads. You're playing the perfect team, then, man. We blow leads. We blow them. Like this is the one team you want to play. Like if you're gonna give up a lead, give it up to us because we don't hold those. It won't last.
Yeah, shout out to my guy Joel. I heard he's watching. That's my guy. But yeah, I mean, you guys. So what games have you guys given up leads? Was it the Falcons game or?
Man, like every game under Patricia, like every game. I think last year we led in 12 of our games. I think last year we led 12 and lost those or something. It was like we led in 12 and lost like 9 of them. And then this year we led in the Bears game 23-6. We lost that one in the fourth. We led by 17 in the fourth. We lost 18 in the fourth. We lost. Who else? Man, pretty much every single week you could look at. I mean, the Packers, we blew the lead. Saints, we blew the lead. We were up 14-0 on the Saints, like in the first quarter. Pretty much every team, like pretty much all the teams that we lose to, we had a lead at some point.
Mm-hmm. So what's your keys to victory in this one?
Stop. Hey, here's the thing: you got to contain the running backs out of the backfield. That's number 1. After seeing last week, 2, don't turn the football over. I'm assuming both teams are going to do it, but hopefully not. Those are my 2 probably my 2 main keys for this one. And then maybe if we can get a turnover on Alex Smith. We just get 1. We haven't had a turnover in a while, so those will be my keys.
Right. And then I heard in one of your videos you said when Matthew Stafford has an interception, you guys have only won 2 games so far.
Yeah. We don't win when he doesn't play well. That's been but that, like I said, like I don't know what video that was, but I think I said it. Like that's been the case the whole time he's been here. I mean, every year he's here. If he doesn't play well, we usually lose the football game, and especially this year because we're just not that great of a team outside of it. I mean, we're just. I mean, statistically, everything else is either average to below average. So if he throws a pick, there's a chance, especially the turnovers that he's had last couple weeks. There's a pretty good chance they're going to win the game.
Right. And what's a bold prediction for this game?
Ooh, I think Adrian Peterson gets 100 yards at least.
Ooh. Yeah, that would be nasty. AP got revenge on him. I can't say it's not going to happen. I'm a big Adrian Peterson fan. I wasn't happy when we released him. Mm-hmm. I understood why we did it because we wanted to go young. We wanted some young guys like Gibson and McKissick to play, and Peyton Barber. Even though Peyton Barber hasn't done anything, I think he's averaging like 1 yard per carry or something like that. But Peterson, man, he's a beast, man. He's got a lot. I think he still has some in the tank. I know he's leading you guys in rushing yards, and if he gets 100, because we just let Alfred Morris go crazy on us, and Alfred Morris played for the Giants. He played for us in 2012, and he went crazy. He went crazy on us. So, if you had to diagram a way to beat the Lions or a blueprint on how to beat the Lions, what would you say Washington has to do?
To beat the Lions,
mm-hmm.
You got to get. Okay, you get us into some obvious passing downs. We're kind of a predictable offense anyways, but if you get us into anything that's 3rd and 5 or longer, I would, especially know the injuries, I'd get up on our wide receivers. I'd bring heavy pressure. You guys have a good defensive line, and I'd get Matthew Stafford possibly, making some mistakes, throwing some interceptions. If you get pressure on Stafford and you get him to force a couple mistakes offensively, you're gonna be fine. And then defensively, if you let give Alex Smith time in the pocket, I think Alex Smith will be able to move around our defense, and he might I just think it's gonna be tough, man. I actually probably think this game's gonna be higher scoring than most people probably. I think yeah, I think Alex Smith, man. I think Alex Smith can have a big game. So I think if you give him time in the pocket and you keep, just get a couple yards each play, just don't fall behind the chains where you're in, obvious passing downs. I think that'd be your keys.
Mm-hmm. So what is? I guess we'll get to the score prediction. You guys put your score predictions in the chat really quick, and I somewhat agree with you with the high scoring because both defenses. Now our defense is number one in passing yards allowed. So our pass defense is actually pretty solid.
Yeah,
we got Kendall Fuller. Darby's been playing a little bit better. He's played a lot better than what he did with the Eagles. I mean, the Eagles, they're just terrible with cornerbacks. But Darby has played pretty well for the most part. I see the sports critic says 28-10. Shout out to Pedro Smith. Make sure you guys talk him up. Chris Forstall says 31-13. And then Dora Gutter says Alex throws for 3 TDs. And then I guess before you say your prediction, what's your stat prediction for Matthew Stafford?
I don't want to say he throws an interception. I could see one. I could definitely see one against your defense. Doesn't Fuller already have 4 picks on the year? Is that right?
Yeah, he has 4 picks. He's playing really well. He's playing definitely at a Pro Bowl level. If not all pro, then definitely Pro Bowl.
I could see him throwing, trying to force something. Maybe it's like before half or something. I think he's gonna take the dink and dunks for the most part. I think Stafford. I think he bounces back. I think maybe like 200, maybe around 240 something yards. I think he'll go above average, not by a lot, but I think he'll have a high completion percentage, something like that. But maybe not a lot of yards per attempt, just kind of taking the dump offs, maybe a couple shots here and there. Maybe he'll throw a pick trying to take a shot.
Mm-hmm. So Donnie Anthony, he has a statement for you. Thank you once again for the donation, Donnie. He says Saquon Barkley will be better than Barry Sanders one day.
That's a lot, man. I don't know about all that. I mean, hey, look, I didn't get to see Barry, and I like Saquon coming out of the draft. I remember, I think it was the Lions website. They kind of tricked me. They did like an April Fool's joke. I thought it was legit. That said the Lions trade up to get to the first pick in the draft, and I thought we were gonna get Barkley. Found out it was a prank. So that stunk. But dude, I wouldn't go there, man. I think it'll be great, but I wouldn't go there.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah. I mean, Anthony, thank you for the donation. Somebody said that Anthony is all crack, but if Saquon can stay healthy, then maybe. And I mean, he's compared to Barry Sanders because they're both on franchises that just have struggled, throughout history. So I mean, I could definitely see the comparison. I don't think Saquon will be better than Barry Sanders. I think it's kind of disrespectful a little bit. But yeah, I could see where you're going with it, Donnie. I could definitely see that. That's a fair comparison. I think it's a fair comparison. Rich Heigl says he's a channel member. Shout out to him. So he's being very honest here. He says Washington football team 24, Detroit 31. So I guess we'll get to your prediction of the game.
Man, I haven't even done my score prediction yet. Okay. I'm thinking more up there in that higher scoring range. I would say it's going to be very close. I think I was thinking like lower, like 20-19 or something weird like that. I guess that's but I'll go. Let's see. I'll go 20. Let's go 27-24. I'll take my Lions. I think they got to get it. Patricia needs to have it.
In overtime?
Ooh, overtime game? First time let's do it. Yeah, overtime. Let's do it. I'd like to see that. Let's do it.
Yeah, I can see it going overtime. I just think both teams are a work in progress, or we're just not a good team, to be honest with you. And the Lions, you are what your record says. You guys are 3-6, we're 2-7 or something like that. I think
we're 3-5. We had a
3-5. You're 3-5. We're 2-6 or 2-7. So we're just not a good team. Alex Smith, he's checked down Charlie. I mean, he was a gunslinger. He was a gunslinger last game against the Giants. He had like 300 something yards. He was slinging the football up and down the field. So it was a crazy game for him. And your defense, your run defense is pretty bad. I think like I said, you guys give up 148 yards rushing per game. So I think this is the game for Antonio Gibson to really, really get it going. Jaden McKissick, and then you'll see if Logan Thomas can catch a football, he might have a good game. Who knows? I see good hit Bostic is in here. Shout out to John Bostic. You know, even though
Oh yeah,
it was kind of a messed up hit, but shout out to John Bostic.
it's
I
crazy.
got Eric JB said Haskins comes in and Haskins comes in by half and has 5 touchdowns, 41, 42 lines. I actually I'm being realistic too, just like my guy Rich Heigl. I do have the Lions I do have you guys winning this game, and I just got to be honest. You know, after we came out and laid an egg against the Giants and had 5 turnovers, you know, and we started out down 10-0. It might have been 20-0, but against a team that we really had to win that game, and we just laid down and lost like that. You know, I just don't see us beating you guys. I don't see it.
Did you feel like the offense was better though when Smith came in?
Kyle Allen wasn't awful. That's one thing I'll say. Kyle Allen, he knew the offense because you know he was a former Panther. Once again, Washington Panthers. He was a former Panther. He knew the offense. He was very comfortable in the offense. Where you saw Haskins just wasn't comfortable at all. Like had no confidence in his decisions when he was playing. Kyle Allen, he just has some of that confidence with him. You know, he has kind of like a I think he's from Cali, so he just has like that California like laid back kind of style. You know, where he throws an interception. Next thing you know, he comes out there like it never happened. And Kyle Allen's mobile. He can move around. You know, he's actually faster than what you think. Kind of like how Daniel Jones is actually faster. Like Daniel Jones looks, you know, he doesn't really look athletic.
No.
But you know, he can run around. So Kyle Allen wasn't bad. Alex Smith did pick it up though. He brought us back from 20-3 to 23-20, where we actually should have won that game, honestly. But what's the name? Alex threw the interceptions. Donnie Anthony, thank you for the donation once again. He says Kyle Allen outplayed Daniel Jones both games. Shaking my head. And you're a Giants fan, so you're being honest. You know, Kyle Allen. Well, and I'm not gonna say both games because Kyle Allen barely played in the Giants game. He actually made some pretty good passes. He knows when to check down. He knows when to throw to J.D. McKissick or throw to Logan Thomas, and he can throw the ball downfield too. But Alex is a check down quarterback. That's what he is. You know, if he plays like he did last week, then maybe we got another Patrick Mahomes show going. So yeah, Joel said Gibson and Hawkinson will be fantasy players for each team. So if you had to pick, because make sure you guys join the Washington Football Only group chat, which is down below. We do flick picks in the chat, and also I give a prize. Shout out to King Sean 32. He won the prize last week. So if you do the flick picks in the chat, you got to join the chat. It's free $99, not $3.99, but free $99. You got to join in the flick chat group. It's free. We live chat during the game. We do quizzes, polls, any breaking news we talk about, any transactions that the team makes, trades, whatever, draft moves that coming up next season in the offseason. We talk about it. We chat about a debate, chop it up, everything like that. So it's pretty cool, fun stuff. But if you had, because flick picks, I think you picked 5 guys. Which 5 guys are you gonna pick for your fantasy flick picks?
For both teams or just my team?
Both teams. So you got to pick. You got all the players. So like for me, I would probably pick Stafford, Terry McLaurin, and probably either Gibson or Peterson.
Ooh, okay. I would either take Gibson or McKissick. I would take either one of those two. Definitely. I might even take both, man, if you can. Let's see here. For the Lions, I would take Peterson. I think Peterson plays well. I don't know if I'm taking Stafford. You guys don't give up a lot of passing yards, so I don't know if I'd take Stafford. I just think he has to just not throw interceptions. That's what I'm just hoping for. There's no turnovers. Maybe Marvin Jones. Maybe Marvin Jones being the number 1 again. Ooh, man, that's tough. I never really. Terry McLaurin probably too. Yeah, definitely Terry McLaurin. With our young secondary, he might not get 100, but he'll put up some big numbers. Right.
Did you say 5 or was that 4?
I don't know. I wasn't. That might have been 4. Okay. Let me see. Oh man, I don't want to say Alex Smith, but man, I'm just worried about something about him, man. I'm telling you, if he has a great game, I won't even be shocked. It's gonna be all these dink and dunks, and he's gonna put these big numbers. Now I don't know how much you're gonna score, but I think he's gonna put. He might have 300 passing yards.
Mm-hmm. Okay. You said 3. Yeah, he could. I would be very surprised. We'll come back to this video after the game, but guys, definitely make sure we're gonna wrap it up here. Guys, make sure you guys sub a dose of Dion. He's almost at 10K. Help him get there. Baby Glock. How did the flick work? So it's pretty easy. You just sign up for it. It's pretty easy. It takes you to the link. You said you already joined. It's pretty simple. It's a chat group. There's different conversations in the chat talking about different things about the team and debates and different things like that. Flick picks. It will pop up under the game. So it says Washington at Lions. And you just hit the bottom button, and then it has like you pick 5 players. So the fantasy, you just pick 5 players. And then the person who wins the top of the leaderboard, that's the person who gets the prize. So it's pretty simple. If you need me to walk it through, you can definitely DM me in the chat. I'll DM. Okay. We got the little lion in there. We got the little lion.
Right. I was just hoping she wasn't gonna pull down my mic, man. I was like, I can see the string going a little bit. I'm like, oh, snap.
Right. So once again, make sure you guys sub up Dion. Where can they find you at, man?
Yeah, Dose of Dion 2.0 on YouTube. I think my Twitter is 0 Dose of Dion. Don't know why it's that. And then on Instagram is Dose of Dion 2.0. Man, I appreciate it.
Yeah, anytime. So all right, y'all, say goodnight to Pat Mahomes.
See you, everybody.
All right, y'all. Peace.